Okay, YouTube, it's time to change the commode in our brand new RV. The one that we have is pretty much identical to this, except for the bowl itself, which we'll compare the two. But this is going to be a pretty clinical, straightforward installation. And the fact that the other one has never been used, because we have yet to go on a trip. When I say used, I mean we've run water through it, and it's had antifreeze run through it, but other than that, nothing's been done. So when we go on our trip, our first trip out, we'll have a little bit nicer toilet than what was offered from the factory whenever they built the RV. However, the one that's in there is pretty good. It's also another Dometic that's in the RV currently, but it's a Model 300. So what we'll do is get the other one out. I'll show you how that's done, and then we'll compare the two, and then I'll show you how this one goes in. The nice thing is, since the other one's brand new, I'll be able to utilize a lot of the hardware without using the hardware that comes with this one, and I'll be able to recoup some of my money and sell my unused new toilet with new hardware. Alright, so what you see here is the Dometic 300 series. This is what comes with, in our case, the 2020 Rockwood 2604 WS. Now, any really Rockwood model is most likely going to have this toilet. And I didn't see really an upgrade choice whenever we ordered this RV to get a better toilet, but we've always wanted one with a porcelain bowl. Now, as far as the one that's ordered, that's in the box that I just showed you guys, basically from here down, they're identical. It's just this part up, it's going to be different. However, the installation and removal of these two are going to be identical. So if you have a 300 series, this is the way you would take out a 300 series. And when I'm installing the 320, it's the way that you also would install this 300 series. Now, the first thing you got to do is take your water source, whatever it may be. If you're connected to the city water, disconnect it. If you've got the water pump on, turn your water pump off. You need to run all the water pressure out of your lines going to the toilet. And in our case, it's just a foot flush, so we went ahead and pushed it. We ran all the water out. And this is one of the things that I noticed on this one. There's kind of like an imperfection here in the color. Again, this toilet has never been used, and yet it still has this little tiny, like, marred color look to it, even though there's nothing there. And it was during the plastic forming process that happened. That's one of the reasons that we would like to have a porcelain bowl, because those things have a tendency to not happen as easily. Alright, so what you're looking at here is the back of the toilet, and the connection that you're going to be wanting to focus your attention on is this one right here. Let me see if I can use my other hand. And this is nothing more than a finger tight situation, because these pipes, they're not very demanding as far as the way they seal. So what you want to do is you want to unscrew this fitting for the water source going to the commode. Again, this is going to be pretty much a direct replacement. If you've got a different, like a Thetford brand toilet, and you're trying to put in a Dometic, you might have to rearrange the way this is connected. But in the case of this toilet, it's pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do is loosen this, and then we're going to work on these over here. These are just caps that are on here. I'm going to take a flat tip screwdriver and pull these off, and there's some nuts underneath. I'll show you that in a second, but first let's go ahead and get this off. As you can see, I'm kind of working blind here. Now you can see, even though the commode has had all of its water run out of it, there's still a little bit of water that's going to come out because it's at a lower level than the sprayer was. So make sure you have some towels handy to keep this from running somewhere you don't want it to go. Okay, so now that that hose is disconnected, we just have to negotiate these caps off to get to the bolts that hold this on. Just take a flat tip, pry gently. They're not on there very hard where you got to really pry. Once you get this cover off, it's a 7/16 inch wrench that you'll be using, or socket if you have a deep well socket. And that's what I'm going to use with a power tool. So I'm just going to remove this and do the same on the other side. As a tip, these bolts move around and they like to spin. However, the base should hold them from spinning. If they don't, you will not be able to use a socket. You'll have to use a wrench, and the top of the bolt is slotted to where you can put a screwdriver in there and keep it from turning while you use the wrench to loosen the bolt. It's kind of a pain in the butt, so hopefully your base is still good. Of course, this is all new for us, so we don't have to worry about that. And we're going to reuse all this hardware. Well, it turns out after all, I got to show you this side too, because this foot flush valve, the pivot, blocks my power tool from being used. So I do have to have a wrench, and I do have a ratchet wrench, of course 7/16, and once that gets loose, finger tight the rest of the way. We'll go ahead and back this off and lift the toilet up to clear it all out. Now, at this point that both the nuts are completely loosened from the base of the toilet, there's nothing holding this toilet in, so you need to be conscious of a few things. Number one, if you have water that's in your bowl still, you shouldn't, because it's going to come out if you tip the toilet or anything like that. The ball valve should hold it if you do have a little bit in there, but you need to flush it and make sure there's nothing in there. It makes it a lot easier. The second thing is, make sure that you take your washer off of here and the nut and move it away, because once this toilet moves out of its place here, you're going to see there's just basically a hole in the floor that stuff could fall into, and you don't want your washers falling into your black water tank. So now that everything's clear, the bowl's clear, all that, we just lift the toilet up off of its flange, and that's it. Now you can see there's a gasket that's on the bottom of this. I'm going to reuse this gasket because it's new. There's no reason not to. Now if your gasket is deteriorated or a little bit old, it's not like a wax ring. It compresses, but it doesn't hold its position immediately. And over a period of time, if this was maybe a couple years old, I would replace the gasket. But in this case, not needed. I'm going to go ahead and pull this gasket off and reuse it on the new toilet. Let's go ahead and go put this out next to the new toilet and show you the differences. First, let's unbox this one. Now, the link is going to be down below for this commode. If you decide to go with this, use the link down below. That would help us out if you could. Appreciate it. We do have an Amazon affiliates account. And you're going to have your choice. This is a standard height. Now, if you have some sort of a platform or pedestal that your toilet mounts on, currently in your RV, some sort of a big box, you may need the shorter one. But this one calls for the standard height, and it's white. You can also get it in bone color, but white is our choice because that's what we're replacing. We'll go figure that out. There's a toilet in there. Now this one is a little different. I did neglect to tell you. One of the reasons we wanted to go with the new one is because this one has a hand sprayer, so we can rinse out the bowl. And I've always wanted this on our old one. The nice thing is this one comes with it already built in, you can see here. And all it takes is just this to be mounted on the wall, and you're going to have a sprayer then to spray out the bowl. Instead of doing multiple flushes, you can actually focus the stream on what you're trying to clean out of the bowl. I really like that feature. Other than that though, this is the same. This is all plastic. Whenever you get a porcelain toilet, as far as Dometic's concerned, you get just the porcelain bowl. This is all porcelain, this whole thing, and it is an elongated bowl. So you have to be conscious of how much deeper this may be, or even on the forward side, if you have tight quarters in your RV. Now we have plenty of room in our RV for this, but I wanted to show you that. So not only do you get the sprayer, you can see the foot flush, there's the caps and the hardware that's rubber band to the foot flush. We don't use this, we're going to reuse what we already have. And you can see the gasket that's on there. We're not going to use this gasket. It says this side down. We're going to reuse the one that's already on the toilet that's in the RV. We'll get that out and we'll compare it. Again, this part of the toilet is identical between the two. It's just the bowl, so let's go ahead and compare that. But this is the main thing that I wanted to show you is the difference. Of course, the elongated bowl and how much more of height you would have. The other thing is this is a traditional wooden style lid that's got some sort of a painting on it or a coating. Everything else though is pretty much the same. Now as far as the extra distance that you're going to need, that is something that you got to check the dimensions on their website and make sure that it's going to work for you, because there is a difference. Obviously it's longer, and not all that length is just forward of the pedestal that it mounts on. Some of it is towards the back too. The one thing I can say I like about the old one is that it's lightweight. The one thing I can say I don't like about the old one it's kind of lightweight. It feels really cheap. This one here, even though it's got a plastic base, this is very substantial, this part here. So let's go ahead and get this in the RV, button it up. I'm gonna have to find a place for the sprayer, and basically I'm just reversing the procedure that I just did. If you have an older toilet and you're replacing it today, this is the time you want to make sure that those screws, the 4 screws that hold the flange to the floor, those are still tight. Make sure, you know, over time they can loosen up. And then these bolts, make sure that they are in good shape. I'm talking about these here. And don't be afraid if you see something that is running down inside the pipe. That's just a glue that they used whenever they put the flange together. But yeah, this is pretty much what it's going to look like for you whenever you lower the toilet on. Now, on some of them, they have it to where you can change the position of the toilet. Well, in this case, you can see we can't be facing a wall. It's kind of in its own little square area, so they made it to where it can only go in one way. So I'm going to go ahead and slide down the new one back into position. I'm going to get it seated. I want to move it around to make sure it's centered and that the seal is basically over that hole and it's equal all the way around. Not pushing down on it, just kind of positioning it. And then I'll go ahead and put the washers on and then the nuts, tighten everything down, and then we'll go ahead and attach the water source. Now you definitely want to make sure that, again, you've got it centered, that everything is flush as far as being squared off with the wall, if you're up against a wall or anything like that. Start the nuts, you know, to some extent, finger tight. Run them down with your fingers as much as possible. At this point, you can press a little bit down on the commode if you'd like to help out with the compression of that seal. I'm just working back and forth between the two. You do not want to over tighten these because this is a plastic base. However, they need to be tight enough that the toilet doesn't move when you sit on it. I mean, that should be more than obvious. So I'm going to go ahead and start snugging these bolts down a little bit. As soon as I feel a little tension there, I'll go ahead and go to the other. And you can see I'm not using my power tool at this point because I want to feel the tension on these bolts. I don't want to over tighten them, but they do need to be snug. And the other thing you need to be conscious of is, you know, your hose. Again, if you have a different style of toilet or commode, like a Thetford, and you're converting over to this one, you may have to change your fitting on your hose to be higher or lower. But in this case, I'm right on par, right where it needs to be. So again, back to the nuts. We're going to go ahead and just tighten these down until I get a good feel for the toilet base as far as it being tight and not moving around. I can feel that it's definitely getting tighter at this point. Just moving back and forth between the two, tightening equally. Feeling pretty solid. The other thing I want to do is actually look down in my toilet with the ball valve open, and I want to see if the seal is not sticking in any place, which it shouldn't. So I got this pretty much rock solid. I may check this at a later time to make sure that it's still tight. I'll put the caps back on, both sides. Again, I just reused what we already had because they were brand new. And now at this point, it's really simple. We're really getting to the easy part. And that is finger tight and put this valve back on. Just kind of snug it up on there. Of course, we're going to check for leaks here in just a minute. You can see a little bit of water's coming through. It's expected as that water was kind of in that line the whole time. And if you can't get a good grip on it, you can use channel locks, but I suggest that you take it easy, that's for sure. In my case, I'm just going to take a washcloth, give me a little bit more grip. It's the wet one that I was using earlier. And again, finger tight. Everything's plastic here. No sense in just over tightening stuff just to be doing it. All right, so that's pretty tight. Now let's go ahead and address this sprayer real quick. What we're going to do is basically get it out of the bag and then test the water pressure, make sure everything's okay, then we can fool around with the sprayer. So I'm just checking these valves here, making sure everything's okay. that I don't have any kind of water that's coming out of any strange places, any drips. And so far, everything looks really good here. I don't see anything that makes me think that there's any leak problem. So now let's try out this sprayer. Now, if you guys don't know, the way these sprayers work, for safety reasons, they don't have water pressure going to them all the time. The only time they have water pressure going to them is if you're pushing the foot valve, whether it be for a full flush or if you just have it partially pushed down. That way, in case there's a leak in this, this sprayer, it doesn't run all your water out on your floor. It only happens that this has pressure in it whenever it is being energized by the foot pedal. So you can see here, wow, it does a good job. Yeah, very, very nice. And of course, no pressure at all. You can see no water at this point. That's nice. I like the way that that works. So all we have to do at this point is mount the sprayer. So I'm going to get Heidi in here, tell me where she wants this sprayer mounted, and we're pretty much done. So although I took plenty of time installing this, this is something that can be done relatively quick. You just got the fitting in the back, two 7/16" nuts that come off the flange mount, and that's pretty much it. And then of course keeping everything sanitary. The fact that our commode is brand new, and the fact that the commode we're putting in is brand new, the fact that the RV is brand new and nothing's been used, it made it a lot easier. Now on yours, if it's older, you want to control the smell for the hole once you open it up. Make sure that you don't have like an internal fan like this one running, because it will draw all the stink right out of that tank up into the RV. If you have some sort of air circulation going on, what you want to do is get a roll of toilet paper and put it in a Walmart bag or some sort of a dollar store bag, a little shopping bag, and then that way the toilet paper stays dry, and you can use that to put over the hole whenever you're working, so the smell's not coming out. That's it, guys. I hope this worked out for you. And again, the links are down below for the Dometic 320 standard height white toilet install, but this will work pretty much for any toilet install that you have on any of the series from Dometic, whether it be standard height or not. I appreciate you guys watching, and we hope to see you out there. Bye.